Welcome back to the channel. And time has flown by, but I've had this guitar for a week now. If you watched my previous video reviewing it, you would know that I think it's a great guitar, and I really like this sort of simulated wide range humbucker that Fender's been using for the better part of the last 30 plus years if they've reissued versions of this guitar. Of course, this is the Mexican-made Vintera version. Back in, I think, 2019, 2020, around then, they started making the CuNiFe magnets again, which were not made at all in the world, is my understanding. And that resulted in this. This is the authentic, new, obviously not vintage, wide range humbucker. Nice wire there. Read from the box here. The first authentic CuNiFe magnet powered wide range pickup in more than 40 years. Delivers rich bell-like humbucking tone with full bass and clear treble. CuNiFe pickups have hi-fi clarity yet never lose their attack and definition no matter how hard they are pushed. A chrome cover with a 3x3 exposed pole piece design and Fender logo completes the vintage 70s vibe, and it definitely has that. The DC resistance is between 10.1 and 10.7. So basically, from my understanding, the CuNiFe magnets were pretty weak, which was useful for this application, but not in general. So industrially, they just weren't made anymore. I saw a Fender video from 2 or 3 years ago when they started making these again, talking about how they are now the world's exclusive manufacturer, or at least had a forge that is. They have an exclusive contract with, of these CuNiFe magnets. And it is supposedly a different type of sound than the, what is ever since been used, AlNiCo magnets or ceramic magnets, depending upon exactly which guitar. So these are physically bigger than a Gibson style humbucker. So that's one reason why you either need to have a guitar made for wide range pickups, or be willing to do some routing and cutting a pick guard where applicable. So I think this pickup sounds great, but I've actually had this for considerably longer than the guitar, because there's, can't say for how long Fender's going to continue to do this. So I am going to swap them out and see what we think. I'm also going to play several blind sound samples, so if you like, you can try to guess which is which. And also, once I get this off, which I have not taken the pick guard off this guitar yet, I might show you what the insides look like. Be a nice supplement to my review. So let's get started. Okay, just want to take a look real quick. That's the stock pickup that is actually installed next to the new authentic pickup. You can see there are some visible differences on the underside there. While we have it open, just wanted to show you what it looks like underneath. Good wiring. Let me say that the Ensenada factory does a great job with this in my experience. Looks like high quality components. Also a lot of screws. So let me get this changed out and we'll do some blind sound samples. And I'm not going to show you the soldering, because though I've changed many pickups in my day, I am far from an expert. So I won't even presume to let this be a soldering lesson for anyone, but I'll get the job done and we'll see how the real deal sounds next to the modern day Mexican equivalent, and then you can try to guess which is which. results of the blind test, I want to make sure I was clear on how it was recorded. All the amp and pedal settings were identical. They were not touched between the two samples. It was the exact same strings, the stock strings that came on the guitar. The samples were recorded with an SM57 directly into an audio interface, directly into my iPhone. So there was no post-production or editing, no compression added, no reverb added. The sound samples were 100% raw. And I tried to make them as equal as possible. So, with no further ado, which was which, and let me say, of the multiple blind tests I've done like this, I thought this one was the most clear of them all. The CuNiFe pickup was pickup A. The stock Vintera pickup with AlNiCo magnets was pickup B. And in case you don't know, I keep saying CuNiFe. That means that the alloy the magnets are made out of is copper, nickel, and iron. Which, again, they weren't made anywhere for decades until Fender recently had a forge make them specifically for these pickups. I thought the differences were clear. I think this pickup is brighter, has more clarity, more definition, more bite. I thought the stock Vintera pickup was rounder and fuller. I thought both sounded really good. I preferred this one probably because I'm more of a Fender person. I think that this is definitely a Fender sound. It's a fat Fender sound, basically. The stock Vintera pickup, I think, is a little bit sort of halfway between that and the Gibson sound. If you saw the video where I reviewed this guitar stock, I compared it to an Epiphone Les Paul with a 57 classic Gibson neck pickup. And again, they're different guitar constructions, bolt-on, set neck, alder, mahogany, maple neck, mahogany neck, so they're not identical. But there's definitely a difference. I think that the stock Vintera pickup, in my personal opinion, sort of bridges the gap between the two styles of sounds. It definitely was rounder and fuller compared to this, but I thought that it definitely did not have the bite and definition. As someone who is a Tele fan, that's something I really like. In fact, this actually kind of reminds me of the Seymour Duncan hot rails in the bridge position of my beloved black Telecaster. They're very different pickups, but I just thought it was strange that kind of reminded me of that. And they definitely don't sound identical, but it just shows all the different factors that goes into how a guitar pickup sounds and how a guitar sounds. In fact, that made me think that because I don't really like to take the black Telecaster out places to play because it has such great sentimental value, that I could take this guitar out and have traditional Tele sounds here and that fatter Tele sound there and have everything covered. And I mean, I think it sounds fantastic. Now, I got on sale for, I think, like $187. This is like $220 new. It is expensive, and I won't say unjustifiably so if Fender's having to go to the trouble to forge magnets that haven't been forged since about a little more than 40 years ago to produce these. But do I think it's, and again, I'm trying to think of what I'm not sure what the Vintera pickup would cost, just, stock, standalone, but I would guess it'd probably be in the neighborhood of like $90, $100. Is it twice as good as the Vintera? I think it depends on what you're looking for. I think in my opinion, it sounds better. I don't think it's twice as good, but if you got one of these and wanted to get the more authentic sound, I think it is worth it. The Vintera pickup sounds good in its own right, but I think this one is something special. And something else I wanted to say is that this guitar was extremely easy to modify. And by that I mean, obviously, soldering, but I love that Telecasters and Stratocasters have these nice top routes that you can just, sort of gently cram the wires down in when you're done. Trying to do these things on like a Les Paul style guitar or a Gretsch, a solid body, where they have tiny little channels routed and you have to feed the wire through it. I used double D40 before. It's just so much easier. When it comes to, for someone who's just a hobbyist, when it comes to modifying guitars, I prefer doing it on Fender so much more than anything else. And this one might have been the easiest one yet because, as I showed earlier in the video, all those nice routes to accommodate the humbucker and the wiring. It was just so nice to just be able to gently guide those and cram them in. I mean, it's still a tight fit, but there's plenty of room to work, and that just makes it so much easier. So I enjoyed that. So again, I hope this video was helpful. I hope that if you were like me wondering what the difference was between the CuNiFe magnets and the AlNiCo magnets, that this might have been illustrative. And again, all the sound samples were recorded at a volume that was hopefully not bothering my neighbors. Starting to push it a little bit maybe, but hopefully not too excessively loud. So please like and subscribe. If you have any questions, leave them below or any comments. And until next time, keep on rocking.